Hello, and welcome to the Base, Big and Small Screens. This week, I'd like to talk to you about a trilogy of movies, ones that I've rewatched just recently: Ocean's 11, Ocean's 12, and Ocean's 13. Now, these particular little trio of movies are the first one anyway. Ocean's 11 was a remake of a movie called Ocean's 11. Um, with quite a few older actors. I believe sometime back in the 60s, maybe 70s. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't seen that one, though I'm planning on hunting it down one of these days. Now, however, these particular set of movies were made back in. Where is it? It's on the back here somewhere. I can't. No, I can't find it. But it doesn't matter. These particular trio of movies started with Ocean's 11, doing the remake of the original. George Clooney, Matt Damon, Andy Garcia, Brad Pitt, Julia Roberts, a lot of big name actors. And it was very slick, very stylish, and very smart and subtle in its comedy. It didn't go out of its way with the comedy to point out that you should be laughing at it, like some of the comedies that are done in this day and age. I'm a very big fan of the subtle comedy. So when I first watched this movie, I fell in love with it, and I went back to it because I wanted to see, is it still good? Does it still hold up to the test of time? Because it's been at least a good 10 years since this was made, um, and yes, I believe it does hold up quite well. In fact, to uh, to the super fun of this particular movie. Now, this was back before Matt Damon was as big of a star as he is now. This is actually, I believe, before the Bourne Identity movies came out. And he plays a bit of a minor role in the first one. Very good role. I quite enjoyed. Uh, but the main stars you've got are Brad Pitt and George Clooney, both of whom are very suave, very charming, and just completely amazing. And it basically deals with them deciding to rob three casinos owned by Andy Garcia's character, Mr. Terry Benedict. And that fellow is the one who's kind of stolen Mr. Ocean's girl, Julia Roberts. So there's a bit of that involved in it. So these two end up going around getting certain people that they need to pull off this job that they want to do. And it ends up rounding it out at a nice number of 11. This particular movie has one of the best exchanges of dialogue with George Clooney and Brad Pitt, because Brad Pitt doesn't say a word. He doesn't even move during the entire little scene. It's all the byplay that happens, mostly falling on George Clooney's shoulders, and he pulls it off masterfully. Where he's basically saying that, we've got Saul now, so we've got 10. That's enough, right? And then he goes and pauses for a minute and says, "You think we need another one?" And then another pause. "You think we need another one?" And then another pause. And he goes, "All right, we'll get another one." And then it cuts to them going and getting Matt Damon. Uh, that whole little exchange was just so beautiful and so subtle. I enjoyed it immensely. And naturally, it's very slick, very stylish, as I said. There's lots of old school Vegas vibes going on in it. Um, then you have the second one, Ocean's 12. Now, Ocean's 12 ends up being 3.5 years later. Terry Benedict has tracked them down and is forcing them to pay back all the money they stole from him with interest. And in order to do so, they end up going to Europe to go and steal some priceless things to get the money and run afoul of a French master thief. And all kinds of fun goes on there. Catherine Zeta-Jones is also in this one as a love interest for Rusty, Brad Pitt's character. And there's all kinds of fun things going on there. I believe there's a cameo, but I'm not 100% sure in it. Um, there is one I do know of that's a bit more than a cameo. Bruce Willis is in it playing Bruce Willis because they make Julia Roberts, her character in here, Tess, end up pretending to be Julia Roberts. it's it's all kinds of amusing and fun. And then you have the third one, Ocean's 13. Uh, Terry Benedict's in this one too, except he's helping the uh, the main gang because one of them, one of the guys that was in Vegas from the very first one, casino owner, old school type of a guy. Um, he ends up trying to be partners with this big Las Vegas mogul who's kind of a rival to Terry Benedict, and the guy double crosses him. He has a heart attack, and even though he survives, because of this, they decide, well, they're going to take this guy down. Now, this other guy is played by Al Pacino, doing a masterful job as being the arrogant type, and there's all kinds of fun stuff happening there. So, three wonderful heist movies, all very slick, and I love the word. It feels right to call these movies slick because they are. They're they're very smooth in how they listen to me here babbling on, but they're very smooth in how they manage to uh, portray themselves, how they manage to put themselves out there and get you in ways that you don't really see coming because unless you're paying attention, because all the clues are there, they do present them, but they don't really go out of their way to say this is a clue, this is something you should be paying attention to, and and that I like. So yes, that's going to be it for this episode of The Base. As always, if you like what I'm doing, please give that like button a tap. Give that subscribe button a tap as well if you haven't already, so you can be kept apprised of when I put up new videos. Usually I try and get out at least a couple videos a week. And throw a comment in the comment section. Have you seen any of the Oceans movies, the new ones? Have you seen the old one? And if so, what did you think about it? I'm kind of interested to see that one. I'm going to check it out one of these days. Uh, let's just get a conversation going. Do you know any other heist movies that you think might be good? And yeah, do all that. And until next time, check out Oceans 11, 12, and 13. You might like it. And I'll see you next time.